Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Let's talk about the shadow. We talked about the inner child showing up, but let's talk about the shadow. Kind of like Venus, when Venus went down and, she's the planet Venus, when she went down and she went into the underworld, it brought on temptations and things that a lot of people don't understand when it comes to the world or energy that's coming from astrological perspectives. So, okay, the energy that we feel that's changing us is targeting old parts of ourselves. So that old part, or even parts of us that we hadn't identified with, are triggering a darker side of energy within us, which says that I'm going to fly off the handle, or I'm going to think about what I'm saying. And so when you look at this, the inner child that has not discovered or dealt with her inner pain or his inner pain is being triggered by things and people, being triggered by things and people so that they will learn to go within. What does it mean when you say go within? So they will start meditating, so that they will search within and identify that the problems that they have don't have to do with their outer world, but it's their internal world. So again, I use the words external and internal. Many people in the world use their sight to see what's going on externally, but they don't go within to deal with this internal, kind of like Peter. When Jesus called Peter out into the deep, he was calling him into the deep to deal with inner challenges or conflicts, whatever might be out in the deep water, the subconscious mind. And so Peter was afraid to go because he had not dealt with that type of work before or charted that kind of sea outside of being a fisherman. I don't even think that he probably thought about the fact that he had did it externally, but now he was being called to do it internally. So, you could look at it like this here. Maybe you've done your job externally, but your job is calling you to do the work internally. Your life could be calling you to do the work internally. Your marriage, your children could be calling you to do the work internally. If you've always did external work, that means that you've always worked according to what you saw from your sight outside. What about getting your sight inside? And I know that some people are in this world and they don't believe that they have to deal with inside. But the reason why you're having turmoil and tumultuous situations is because you won't go inside of you and deal with the rumbling, the shaking. And so it's always easier to blame people for your pain. And it's always easier for you to ask people to come inside and soothe your pain, to be the individuals that make you happy and make you laugh. But what about you and your own happiness? What happened to you making yourself happy? Then you're not codependent. So what we find is that people are codependent. And codependent means that I depend on you to do something for me that I need to do. Like, some people don't go to work. They depend on their spouses. And if that's an agreement that you have, then fine. If it's not an agreement that you don't have with your spouse, then, kind of research yourself in that. If you are someone that's at home and you need more money, you might be codependent on something, but you hadn't saw your ability to be dependent upon yourself to go out and work, which means that there could be some confidence issues concerning what you could do professionally, or self-esteem issues. And it could come from inner child, past stuff, right? All right. So back to myself and happiness. Peter called Jesus out into the deep, and so are the energies that we feel right now calling us into deep. Some of the explosions and tumultuous situations that we're having with others at work, is coming because we're not analyzing within. We're not looking at our pain within. Sometimes you do have to take the time to go within and be alone. A lot of times I'll say that because I meditate every day. I find that I'm able to navigate through situations a lot better. That means that I'm not flying off the handle. I'm not exploding. I'm not getting mad at people just for, the drop of a dime because they said a word that, triggered me or that I feel like they insulted me. It's time for growth in America and all over the world. And growth means that I take responsibility for my inner feelings because sometimes it's moods that you have that are causing you to reflex and respond a way that is really not necessary. Then again, we go back to the fact that we blame the people. People are responsible for their own space. In a relationship, you're responsible together. And so what you do is work together to understand what's going on inside of you and inside of that person that you're in a relationship with. The same as when you're at work. You can't have a functional work position or workplace, without looking at people that work with you and saying, okay, he doesn't feel good today. What should I say to make him feel better? Or if I should acknowledge that he doesn't feel good, because sometimes people don't even want you to acknowledge that they don't feel good. They don't want you to care. And they don't want you to care because they don't really care about themselves. So that's another thing. But getting back to the fact that we are in a relationship type of world. We go to work. We're out in public. Like I'm right here waiting, to go in because I have a sinus infection to see the doctor. And I said, let me go on and do this here recording. So we have relationships. I'm waiting patiently for them to come out and call me. And if I fly off the handle, then I may not get saw. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people will show up with appointments with doctors peacefully, but they'll go home and they're causing all kind of hell and havoc. Why? Because they're not happy. They go home, they're not happy, and they blame it on the people, their family, the children, that they're not happy when it's them. You can search all over the world for happiness, but the world that you need to find is the happiness that's within you. And that's where we are right now. That's why I brought up the inner child, because the inner child and the energies that we're dealing with is pushing this information out, whether we look at it or not. You can find that you might have been someone that people really liked 6 months ago or a year ago, and people are starting to get to the place where they don't want to be bothered with you because you fly off the handle like that. Why are you doing this? You have to ask yourself. No one else has to ask you. It's not up to other people to fix us. It's up to us to fix us. Been there, done that. And as much as people will come into your space and, try to make you think that or give you an impression that you're not fixed, that's fine. Because they'll give you information on things that will help you to know other things that you need to fix. I don't think that any of us are fixed in this world. I think that we're fixed on what we think and believe, and we're immovable. But I also believe that we can look and observe someone's information towards us as the mirror and how we respond to them, and get an understanding that there's something that we need to take care of within ourselves. It's not always the other person. It is sometimes us as well. And we can't make a world a better place, nor our homes, or promote functional health in our children if we don't look at ourselves and, cut out our thoughts on how people are to make us feel. We have to get into a place where we understand that we brought some trauma from our childhood, that we brought some stuff over that we hadn't dealt with. That we didn't even know how to deal with marriage because, we didn't see families that stayed married. That we didn't go to professional places and show up professional. Many of us had underpaid jobs. Many of us came from generations of what they're dealing with right now in the streets, protesting about slavery. Now, I'm not saying that to make us go into the offices and say, well, I was a slave, that gives me an excuse to be how I am. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that it gives me the excuse to be a better person. I don't think that any of my ancestors died in the position that they were for me to show up as an asshole or to treat my family bad. Learn behavior, yes, you do take it on. But when you become conscious enough that you know you've learned something from people and it's not healthy, then you have the power to change it. This is where we come into empowerment. So, with all of everything, the energies that's going on in the world, everything that we've been last year and 2 years ago, there's something that we need to change. Some people want to change relationships, but they don't want to change their self. That means that you're going to still be the same. Still be the same. Because you are fixed on not changing you. This is me. I want to change me. But I don't want to be in a company with people that see themselves as perfect and they don't see anything wrong with them. And they can show up in a position or a place any way that they want to. It's just not the way. It's toxic. So, what do we do today? You can email me at ifwbuilders@gmail.com to do personal development sessions. And we're going to be doing a class next Wednesday at 1:30. I'll have Kamoy Knight on. I may have a couple of other young ladies on with me. We'll see how it goes, but it'll be 1:30, and in order for you to be a part of that class, it's going to be $30 for you to come in, and it's a webinar where you will learn your trigger points and things that are causing you to be powerless. All right? And so everything will be in the description box. Like, share, and become a better person today. Work on that. Begin to meditate. Take your life serious. Take your freedom serious, because you cannot get free just by saying that I'm free. Consciousness. That means that you are free from all the dysfunction, or at least some of it to begin with, that you came in the world with, or that you've partaken in the world with. Freedom from dysfunction. Okay? God bless you guys and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.